Hello, I'm Young Shin from Hanyang University. This presentation covers our paper, Memorization or Reasoning, Exploring the Idiom Understanding of LLMs. This work was jointly conducted with Jisoo Kim, with contributions from Eui Hwang, Jihun Che from Sony AI, and Richeng Hwan from BAAI, under the supervision of Tae Kim. Idioms are a special type of multi-word expression with unique characteristics. They are highly fixed, meaning even a small word change can break the idiom. For instance, every cloud has a silver lining wouldn't sound idiomatic if silver became bronze. Idioms are also non-compositional. Their figurative meanings, like good things can follow hard times, can't be derived from the literal words. Finally, they are culture-specific, varying across languages. This cross-lingual diversity makes idioms an intriguing and important topic to study. So, because of these unique traits, idioms are processed differently from normal language. Linguistic studies show that idioms lie between two mechanisms: memory retrieval, where meanings are recalled, and metaphoric reasoning, where meanings are inferred. In humans, both processes work together, forming a hybrid approach to idiom understanding. However, little is known about how large language models process idioms. Previous studies tested only small sets of idioms and used simple binary classification tasks, settings that are now close to saturation and may not truly capture idiomatic understanding. A few studies have looked into memorization in idiom processing, but their conclusions conflict. One claims that memorization has little effect, while another argues that transformer models rely heavily on recalling memorized expressions. So this inconsistency motivated us to take a closer look. In short, we still don't fully understand how well LLMs grasp idioms across languages, or whether they rely on memory, reasoning, or both. But studying this is challenging because existing multilingual idiom datasets are quite limited. Some lack idiom meanings, others include only a small number of examples or specific language families, and some rely entirely on model-generated meanings without human verification. These gaps motivated us to build a more comprehensive resource. So to address these gaps, we built a new large-scale multilingual idiom dataset called MIDAS, short for Multilingual Idiom Dataset across 6 languages. MIDAS includes around 10,000 idioms per language across 6 typologically diverse languages, each with refined meanings and example sentences when available. It also preserves idiom variations and multiple senses. The construction process has 3 main steps. First, we collected idioms from online and ebook dictionaries. Second, we applied rule-based filtering and LLM refinements to clean and simplify meanings. Finally, native speakers reviewed all entries to ensure authenticity and quality. To evaluate idiom understanding, we designed multiple choice questions, or MCQs, using our dataset. Each question presents an idiom and 5 possible meanings, and the model must select the correct one. We automatically build these MCQs by selecting distractors based on semantic similarity, so the options look natural but still challenging. During evaluation, each MCQ is shuffled and tested 3 times, ensuring the correct answer appears in different positions. An idiom is considered known only if the model gets it right in all 3 trials. As shown in this example, We also use localized prompts, meaning the entire question is presented in the idiom's native language. Using this MCQ setup as our diagnostic framework, we explore whether LLMs rely more on memorization or metaphorical reasoning, and whether they can use contextual cues or reasoning steps to understand idioms. So we test 4 multilingual models that officially support our 6 target languages. We first examine whether idiom understanding depends on memorization. To do this, we separate idioms into 2 groups, memorized and unmemorized, using a continuation task. If the model can correctly predict the final word of an idiom, given its preceding context, we treat that idiom as memorized. When we compare the 2 groups using our MCQs, models consistently perform better on memorized idioms across all languages and models. This difference is statistically significant, confirming that memorization plays a key role in idiom comprehension. Next, we turn to metaphorical reasoning, which is closely related to an idiom's compositionality, the extent to which its meaning can be inferred from its parts. For example, kick the bucket is highly non-compositional, while every cloud has a silver lining is more compositional and thus easier to interpret. To quantify compositionality, we ask the models themselves to rate each idiom. Given an idiom, its meaning, and a short definition of compositionality, the model assigns a score from 1 to 5. By comparing the scores for correctly and incorrectly answered idioms, we can see whether models rely on metaphorical reasoning in understanding idioms. The results show a clear pattern. Models perform better on idioms that are more compositional. Combined with our memorization results, these suggest that LLMs use both memorization and reasoning, adopting a hybrid strategy similar to how humans process idioms. Next, we test whether LLMs can use contextual information to better understand idioms. We simply compare the performance with and without example sentences added to the MCQ prompts. This lets us see if surrounding context helps models interpret figurative meaning more accurately. The results show clear improvements across all models and languages. When given example sentences, models achieve higher accuracy, meaning they can effectively leverage contextual cues to enhance idiom comprehension. Finally, we explore how reasoning influences idiom understanding. We compare a base model and its reasoning-enhanced variant under several prompting setups, including chain of thought and thinking, no-thinking modes, to examine how explicit reasoning instructions and training affect performance across languages. When we look at the results, we see a mixed pattern. For high-resource languages, adding COT actually reduces performance, while for low-resource languages like Korean or Turkish, it improves accuracy. Overall, reasoning shows inconsistent influence across models and languages. To conclude, we present MIDAS, a multilingual idiom dataset spanning 6 languages. Using it, we evaluate LLMs across 4 key aspects: memorization, compositionality, context, and reasoning. Our findings suggest that models rely on both memorization and reasoning, benefit from contextual cues, while the effect of explicit reasoning remains uncertain. So that concludes my presentation. Thank you for your attention.